Welcome to Learning to Glow, a show about wellness, skin health, and self-development. I'm your host, Jess. I'm a mom, entrepreneur, and skincare expert. I'm so excited to share tips on how to achieve healthy skin and bring amazing guests in the field of health, fitness, aging gracefully, and personal growth. Let's explore all different ways we can take care of ourselves as women, both inside and out, to truly shine. So let's get glowing. Hello, everyone. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day so far. I have such a great episode for you. I sit down with Yondje, who is the founder of Oma Natural Food. It's a Korean wellness brand inspired by traditional postpartum and everyday nourishment rituals. Today, she shares the wisdom passed down from her mother and grandmother that shaped her approach to food, beauty, and self-care. I absolutely loved this conversation, and I loved talking about the differences of how we do things here in the West versus in the East. And we talk about her roots growing up as a Korean woman and how they value different things when it comes to our health. She talked about why seaweed is one of the most underrated superfoods out there. The surprising connection between iodine and our hormones, and why warm foods are just better for us, better for our gut than cold ones. We talk about some simple morning rituals that I loved as well. Seaweed soup is so incredibly beneficial for our health, and she shares why that is. And she, with her company Oma, has generously offered you guys, the listeners, a 15% off discount of anything in her line. So you just have to go to her website and type in Jess15 as the code. I'll put a link to all of this information in the show notes so that you can check it out. Thank you so much and enjoy this one. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show today. We have Yondje. I am so excited to talk to you today.
Hi, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here today.
I'm really excited to talk to you. And before we get started, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, well, my name is Yondje. I'm the founder of Oma, a Korean wellness ritual. I'm French-Korean, born and raised in France, but my parents are obviously Korean. And, I grew up with my mom telling me all the time, wear your socks, have something warm, eat your veggie, eat your seaweed for your hair, and so on. So I'm excited to tell you more about it.
Yeah, I cannot wait. In the beginning of my podcast, I've had a lot of acupuncturists and people from the East talk to us. And I think it's really great for women that are from America and in the West in general, because we aren't told these things, and these are really important things. And it's funny too when you say like eat warm foods and wear your socks, keep your body warm. I've done the opposite of that for my whole life. Like I love ice drinks and it's salads. And so this is something that I've tried to incorporate into my life because I feel like it makes such a difference. And we'll talk about why. But first, can you tell us about your company and how that got started? And I know you told us a little bit about your mom. It sounds like a big inspiration for this.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's a good segue because Oma actually means mother in Korean. And, I've been living abroad, so in New York for now the past almost 12 years. And when I was pregnant after a difficult pregnancy, my mom, who is living in Paris, she came to New York. And I was at the hospital like one day postpartum, and she walked in my room with a giant thermos of the miyeokguk, the seaweed soup. And that was truly an amazing feeling to be taken care of. The minute I had that warm soup, sipping it, and it's something that I had my whole life, but that moment felt so special and taken care of, and that the word like nourishment, the warm hug that you could have and hope for someone that wants to take care of you, that really stayed with me. And so I had the soup traditionally, like for the next 6 months. She made it. I have it like twice per day, sometimes even 3 times, because that's how you do it traditionally in Korea. And it was truly special. So I thought, why is this not available to everyone. And so I started to make it for my friends who were pregnant. They were like, "Oh, but why your belly so flat?" And you just had a baby. And I was like, it might be the seaweed soup. It works. And so they're like, okay, make it for me. So I made it for them. They loved it. And I had so many other people telling me like, oh, did you have your seaweed soup? So I thought like, okay, people start to understand that there is a care and there is aftercare for women after having a baby, which I feel is not that well known in the Western world. I gave birth in New York, amazing care, but the food I had like cold food, soda, carrot cake, and all like love it. But this is not something that you're supposed to eat when you just gave birth. Your body went through so much and you need the nourishment. You lost blood, you're depleted. So you need that like great nourishment to recover for your body, your bone, your blood, of course your skin as well and everything. So that I found like is truly important and kind of a gap that we wanted to bridge, and not only for just new moms but for everyone. And that's why in Korea the seaweed soup is one of the favorite and a staple for everyone, like men, women, child, everyone, because they know that it's so nourishing and you get all the nutrients, and of course it's delicious.
It is.
Yeah, it's that's where like how it started. I wanted to share and making sure that this is available for everyone, but in a convenient way, because who has time to cook a full bone broth and like source of seaweed and so on. So I'm also like a super busy and active mom woman, living in New York, and I was missing that soup from my mom. Everything that I could find in a supermarket when it comes to food is usually full of chemical. It's super high in sodium, and I wanted something clean. So basically, I created for myself, but it's how it started. Yeah.
I love that. I think it's what you said is really true, because it's not just postpartum that we need something like this. There's a lot of women who just need nourishment fast because we are so busy. And we talk about this all the time on my show. We are so busy. We're working, we have kids, so many things are going on. And so a lot of times our nutrition kind of takes a backseat to our lives because it's just so hard. So having something that's fast but so good for you is so important. And I also love, you talk about this is something really traditional in your culture, and you say that it's the seaweed is like the superfood secret. So can you tell us why seaweed, not just like, we'll start with seaweed, but I think just like the bone broth of it, the warming soup, like all of that's beneficial. But can you start with the seaweed, because you say that's such a superfood and kind of the secret. This is a traditional thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. I love that question. Like every woman I know for their birthday, every Korean woman I know for their birthday, they had seaweed soup. Not a cake, not a cupcake,
Wow.
the seaweed soup. And you can ask that. And if you ask them why, they will probably tell you because my mom made it for me in that morning. That's how traditional it is. And when you think of it, it's because Korean have been using that one ingredient for pregnancy, postpartum, recovery in general, because it truly helps as a recovery and aging, longevity. And it's rooted in tradition for like centuries, truly centuries. And so the reason why is because the seaweed has some specific prebiotic that is only true to seaweed that really help for your gut and your digestion. So that's one. Then seaweed has the most natural iodine that you can find in any ingredient. And that is the most like underrated, underknown, I think, ingredient element for our modern life, because iodine is what helps for your thyroid and your hormone balance, which controls your metabolism, your energy, and of course your hormone balance. And that it impacts all women through their women health journey, from like your period, of course, getting pregnant, the postpartum, and so on, and the perimenopause, of course. We don't talk so much about it, but it's true, and it affects all women. So iodine is truly important, and I'm starting to talk more about it because I feel like now people understand like how important it is. It kind of, like works as the thermostat. It's your thermostat in your body when you think of it. And if it's down, then you feel cold, and you don't feel energy. If it's too high, then you're too hot and you're sweaty. It's not great. So really the thyroid is so important, and that is fed with the right amount of iodine. And what, of course, one of the things that I feel proud about Oma is that we have the perfect amount of iodine in 1 cube, 1 serving. We have 170 microgram, and the FDA is actually recommending 150, which is like the perfect amount of it. And that's true for women, but also men. A lot of time we have customers telling us like, hey, like, can we eat it? I'm like, yes, of course. And men do need iodine too. So yeah, it's something that we have to think and include, because like with all the salt and the Himalayan salt nowadays, there is a lot of salt that don't contain the iodine. So it's something that we miss a lot in our body as well.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And I realized that I've had thyroid issues, and I've had a doctor tell me, the same thing. We love the Celtic sea salt and all these things, but that doesn't have the iodine in it. So making sure that you're eating other sources of that is so important. So can you tell us this? I love talking about the skin, because I just feel like the skin is a great reflection of what's happening in the inside. It's not just what we put on top of our skin. And I feel like there are some health benefits for the skin when it comes to seaweed. Is that something that you've noticed too?
No, completely. And my mom was always telling me like, eat your seaweed for you. If you want to have beautiful hair, you have to eat your seaweed, the hair, the skin. And growing up, I was like, yeah, whatever, like I'm fine. but now, of course, as an adult, I'm like, yes, give me more. But the interesting and surprising thing that people don't know is that we are kind of obsessed, and we know about collagen, right? And most women know collagen supplement, but seaweed works upstream of collagen. It really stimulates the collagen production. So it kind of goes down to the source of it. Like you need that, and it will boost your natural collagen production. And that's why it's so good for your skin and for your hair. You even have some study, I think it's Cleveland Clinic. They were saying that the seaweed extract has proven to help really on skin elasticity. So the serum, like the $100 serum that you're putting in your skin, you can actually eat it in a natural, delicious, nourishing way. And it's the inner beauty. And I think that's where the Korean kind of have that as a tradition of like food is medicine, and it's a way to take care of yourself, because it's not only things that you put on you, it's what you eat. And from the inside, you're regenerating your body, and that will show and glow from the outside.
Yeah. And if you are having a diet that is the opposite of that, you're going to see that too in your skin. You can tell when you've been taking care of yourself, your skin is a little bit more glowy and more hydrated. Like that makes such a huge difference. So I'd love to talk also about the bone broth part of it, why that is also so beneficial. And I know with the seaweed, I didn't really know about the digestive and the gut benefits. That's great. Tell us some benefits about like just having broth.
Yeah, I mean, broth, first of all, just not even like overcomplicating on like the benefit of bone broth is like eating warm food, especially at the beginning of your day when you wake up, is so important. And in a lot of Asian culture and many more, you wake up after 8 hours of sleep, deprived from water. You need hydration, and water is not enough. You need the electrolyte, and you need something that wake up your gut in a gentle way. And that's why like probably, like in Japan or of course Korea, like you have a little soup in the morning with everything in your breakfast, but it's just a way to gently wake up your gut, add the electrolyte and the hydration that your body needs before grabbing your coffee. So at least if you're like, I drink a lot of coffee too, but at least like have a glass of lukewarm water in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
No, nothing cold that will like kind of shock your gut. And that's why, like, I think pushing down to the bone broth, that warmth is so important for your gut, and just start your day with no like shocking, like before your dry big bagel or your iced coffee. Just
Uh,
starting with that, and then like the bone broth is kind of anti-inflammatory and create a gut lining that protects all the other element that you're going to add. So you can think it as a kind of as a filter that really protect your gut and help for and soothe digestion overall. And of course, like bone strength, and so yeah, it's all good element. The other thing I wanted to mention on like the seaweed, and it's very low calorie. Thus,
yeah.
you have the satiety, and that's also why like Korean women, and you know how they care about beauty and everything. And now it's soon summer, so summer bodies, I'm sure, a question for a lot of people. But it's very low in calorie. The Oma cube, one serving, is 35 calories, but then you get a lot of seaweed, and you get the satiety feeling from the seaweed. So it's also amazing to be able to combine something that feels good when you eat it, and it's not like super high in calorie, and of course zero sugar.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a bang for your buck. Like you get so much nutrition packed in such a tiny amount of calories. I love that you talk. I love talking about this as far as like with how to start your day too, because I'm very into like anti-inflammatory foods right now. I'm on a kind of an anti-inflammatory
Mm.
program. And I feel like the way to start your day, like if you say you go straight into something cold or cold coffee or whatever, that's kind of an inflammatory way to start your day. Since we're on this, I'd love if you could share what is an example like a breakfast. So if you, and I know like, by the way, you have such pretty hair and skin. So you can tell that this lifestyle that has been around forever is so beneficial. You can see it. For example, can you give us what's something that you do for your breakfast and how you start your day?
Yeah, I always start with a warm glass of water. And if it's too hot, then I will just mix it with normal temperature water, like
Okay.
lukewarm. And I force my 4 years old son every morning with that. He's like, Mom, I'm
Oh.
hungry. I'm like, yes, but let's have water first. And at the beginning, he was like, "Oh no, no, I just want my banana." But now he's used to it. He's like, "Wait, you don't give me my water," and it's your body understands. Then you're kind of telling him like, "Hey, let's have something soothing and hydrating. Waking up first before eating whatever you like." And I'm not in a like don't eat this or this. Like I love like I'm a sweet tooth as well, but it's more about incorporating great nutrient nourishment along with things you like, of course. And so after my warm water, I will have actually a bone broth, the seaweed soup, and then later through the day I'll have my coffee. So I will start with that, and then as a breakfast, my go-to nowadays is a Greek yogurt with some fruit, a big spoon of peanut butter because I we love it, or eggs, of course, eggs, and avocado, another go-to, and then yeah, later on, of course, like everyone, I also have my coffee in the morning, but I think it's important to take the time as well. And I realize that, like the Korean beauty, skincare, now it's a trend, but it's been there like for centuries. Like my grandma was telling me, like you need to apply your cream in this way for your hand to avoid wrinkles, and you need to put your lotion, your toner, and so on. And it's also a ritual. It's part of your ritual, and it's a moment to soothe, to take your time, think of your day, put your skincare, and same before going to bed, like removing everything and just cleaning up your face and from everything that you had through the day before reapplying. And anyway, yes, so I think those ritual, like the warm glass of water, making your soup yourself. A lot of people love to add some turmeric or whatever ingredient or egg that you like to have in the morning for full breakfast. But it's a moment to take care of yourself, and a 5 minute to pause, to start your day and go with full energy.
I love that. It's self-care, right? I think so for this is a warm drink question. Do you put anything in your water, or do you do like lemon or anything, or just straight warm water?
I do straight. My husband does lemon. I did lemon as well, but as like everything, sometimes you're like, oh no, I'm over it, and then you go back to this and that. So
I love the idea of doing this for your kids. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to write myself a note. When I do my warm water, and I don't do it every day, but I do it most days now, just be literally because of this podcast, because I'm like, I know I need to be doing this, because my guilty pleasure is iced coffee. So I feel like as long as I can have something warm before and after, I can get away with it a little bit more. But I can totally tell a difference when I do this. Like, it's truly like really good for your digestion, and it is a ritual. And I do, like, when I take the time and I can have 5 minutes isn't that much. If I take my 5 minutes and I sit with my warm water and maybe do something alone and quiet, I do feel so much better that day. It does make a big difference. I would love to ask you, you did touch on like your grandmother and the skincare. So do you have any other tips for the skin when it comes to, like, what else did your grandma say? Like, let's hear all that. I want to hear it all.
My grandma had like until her 90s, she had such a beautiful skin. And before that I was like, oh, I should put some makeup before this podcast, but I didn't have time.
You don't have makeup. You look amazing.
And so, and that's thanks to her, I think. I mean, okay, sure, it's genetic. Like, I'm not going to debate that. But the way you apply your skincare as well, I think matters. And other people will say other things. But for me, it's like always like from inside to up,
Yes.
And your neck is so important. You cannot cheat on it. You have to take care of your full neck completely, and your hand as well, she always mentioned. And when you think of it, I don't think you can do Botox on your hand and don't lie. So it's also another important thing. Sunscreen, I think nowadays people know, but it's every single day, no matter how it looks outside. Every single day during winter, even if it's raining, every day you need to wear sunscreen. And I think that truly makes a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I'm an esthetician, so I've been doing skincare for a long time. And like, it does matter how you apply. And if you're dragging and pulling on your skin, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, completely. The other thing about, when we talk about the warm water, I think those rituals should be easy, because I'm also like forgetting, not having time. And the question, like, do you put lemon? And mostly I don't, because I know it's hard. Like, you don't always have a lemon. You like cutting, and then you have to clean up, and that's those little extra steps create some kind of bug in your head of like, oh, should I just that? Oh, it's fine. I rather just drink my usual stuff. And that's that's the little thing that create a friction that you should just remove. Just warm water, it's fine. It's much better than nothing. So start with those small habits to create that ritual. And eventually, if you want to test other things, sure, add the lemon. But I think it's important to take like just little steps and get used to it rather than nothing. And it will always be a progress anyway.
I agree. It's like, if you get the water down as a habit, start there, because then you can always add in things later. And I'm the same way. Like, if you feel like it has to be perfect and you have to add all these steps, then you go, forget it, and you do none of it. And so
Completely.
it's so much more important to just be like, I'm going to do, and that's exactly what I do. I do sometimes a pinch of salt and lemon and maybe some apple cider
Hmm.
vinegar. And then all of a sudden I wasn't doing anything. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do literally what you're saying, just hot water, because that's enough. Like, I'm
Yes,
proud that I'm
it's
getting
fine.
at least that.
It
That's the most
is.
important part of it.
Completely, completely. It's like working out. Like I would love to work out 4 times per week, but of course, no time and things slip through. And you know what I do nowadays? I do 30 squats in the morning when I brush my teeth. So, so my
That's
husband's like,
great.
"What are you I know. My husband's like, "What are you doing?" But I swear I do that every single day. That's my non-negotiable little thing. But I think it still makes a difference, and it's still better than nothing. So
Yeah. And it doesn't take that long.
it doesn't take long. You're brushing your teeth anyway, so you're standing anyway. So do your squat at the same time. I think it's about like little things that you can add in your daily routine, and so that you don't feel so much pressure. I need to eat healthy and work out and drink my water, and it's the list is so long. So like
Mm.
little life improvement, be gentle to yourself, feel works.
That's a really good message. And I feel like that's kind of a theme of this show. It's like we can't do everything perfectly all the
Yeah.
time. We can do what we can and do our best. But I saw a lady on, I think it was Instagram, and she said every time she went to the bathroom, she would do 10 squats. And she saw a big difference of doing that all the
Oh
time. And I'm
yes,
like,
I do feel a difference. Yeah. Oh, the bathroom. Oh, that's an interesting one. Maybe I try that.
you can add in some throughout the day.
Yes.
Okay, so what other secrets do you have for us? I want to talk about the theme that is really true with the not just Korean culture, but just in the East in general. It's really about your body being warm, I feel like, or warming foods. And you mentioned like wear socks. Like, tell us more about that because I feel like that is not talked about at all here.
The worm. Yeah. I mean, I think the one thing that you will always hear, it's very cliche, but like old Korean mom, grandma is like, oh, like you're gonna be cold. Wear a sweater. Like don't be cold. Don't have the air enter your body, and especially like after having a baby, it's so important to have no air like around
Oh.
your belly, and all the energy comes from your feet as well. And so like the wear the socks is like is that like to not have cold feet because it regulates your whole body temperature and ultimately your energy. And I think the gut, that's why the gut is so important. You've probably heard like the gut is your second brain or even sometimes the first one because it's so connected. And that's why, coming back a little bit to the seaweed, like seaweed promotes regular bowel movement, it reduces bloating, it supports like blood sugar spikes as well and stability, and it and help slowing down carbs absorption. It helps slow down carbs absorption. So it's amazing for that because we know like your gut needs to be happy, that you have the right energy and the right mood, and you feel good and you can focus and you can go through the day. And that's why like having the warm food really helps because it's much easier to digest, as simple as it is, than cold food. So even a salad is harder to digest on your gut than something like cooked and warm. It requires more energy to your body, and that's why it's so important like to eat that warm food to protect your gut, because your gut is truly the center of your whole body. And yeah, I think that's one of the reasons like why like staying warm and having the right body temperature is so important.
I love that. I feel like there's so many people who I talk to that complain about digestion, bloating. These are things that a lot of people here in the West don't put two and two together. Like they're having salads and smoothies, cold smoothies all the time. And then they're like, I'm eating so healthy. I don't understand why I'm having these digestive issues and inflammation and
Completely.
different. It's really like they don't get it because it seems like you're doing all the right things. But I feel like, especially after talking to you today, I'm sure people are going to be like, okay, I need to add some, at least get your warm water in. I'm a true believer of that. Like, I totally see the difference in it. And getting some of these benefits from the seaweed and the bone broth. I would love if you could tell us more about your product, where we can get it. And I'll make sure to link this all in the show notes too, because this is something that is so easy. I've had it. It's delicious. It's something that is so easy to do and to make and to incorporate. Honestly, I think kids really like this kind of stuff too.
Yes, they do.
And getting kids as moms, there's a lot of moms who listen to my program, getting them on board with incorporating some of these things I love how you have such a balance too. It's like, yes, you still have your other foods and everything, but you really are incorporating these things, especially at the start of your day to set you up for health, I think is so important. So tell us more about where we can find your product and
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, it's true. Like mom loves to share that with the kids, and I feel like nowadays kids they also used to eat the seaweed snack, so they're used to with that idea of that like brown little thingy. So you can find us online at omanaturalfood.com, and on Instagram our handle is oma.naturalfood. And yeah, it's mainly online. We are soon going to launch on Amazon, so we'll definitely let you know. But for now, on our website, and when you subscribe, you get a Oma thermos for free, so you can bring your thermos to work or when you travel anywhere. Honestly, I feel it's so convenient because a lot of people, and that's the traditional way as well to eat the soup, is to add a bit of rice. So in the morning, you could even pack your cooked rice and then add the cube, add the hot water at work or anywhere, and you have your meal ready. So yeah, find us online, and we'd love to connect again with you.
It's so easy. So we need more things that are easy. You know,
that's what I'm all about, being easy and those little life hack and the little squat in the bathroom. Love that.
Yes, I'm gonna start doing that too. We'll do it together. Yeah. Thank you so much for everything and sharing with us today. Go to my show notes, everybody, and I will have everything linked there. And thank you again for sharing with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please subscribe and review so we can reach more people who want to learn to glow alongside us. See you next time.